welcome to the first round of the second season of the Live for Speed Championship Auto Racing Team Series. I'm John Palmer, bringing you our tape-delayed coverage of the Grand Prix of Japan from Kyoto Ring National Reversed, this 5.13 kilometer, 3.193 mile circuit. We will take this quick on-board lap with Rudy Van Buren, who is on pole for the sprint race. I have combination oval and road course. Turn one here from the oval bank turn. Brake on the turn as you turn into the infield section. Off camber for the most part, uphill just a smidge. Very tricky turn number 2 there. Cut the curve wrong, it will spin you right round. Next turn here, a slow right-hander, off using all the curves on the exit there. Then a quick right-left, switch back up through the gears again. Keep flat out through this next left-hander, 180-degree right-hander on the brakes, then turn the wheel off. No traction control on these cars, but a lot of power to the back, causing a little bit of loss of grip as we just saw there. Then down to the last few corners in the infield section, double apex left-hander, slow right down, then to the right. Curve right here, very tricky curve, flip that wrong. It has caught several people out. Then back onto the oval. Flat out for third of the lap here. Great slipstreaming opportunities through here, and great passing opportunities. So that is the lap. Rudy Van Buren for the Formula Racing organization will be on pole for this sprint race. Coming, of course, 2 races today. Sprint race first, and then feature race here for LFSCART. Now the starting lineup for the sprint race. Van Buren on pole, 127.42. Jack McIntyre, Andre Mashka, Gasunius, then Hunian, Jonathan Picard, Patrick Pavin first, Salominen, Sedgwick there, top 10. Next 20, Janek, Holmberg, Lapervoet, Hill, Firmivek, Wang, Shearer, Jovanovic, Abbas, and Perez. Then 22 cars total starting this race. Lamont and Fargo will be starting 21st and 22nd. So that will be your starting lineup for this sprint race. Very tricky track. High downforce, as we see the very wide oval portion, as you see the cars on the formation lap here. We'll be heading around to the grid for a standing start here today. About just over 10 laps, about a 30-minute race scheduled here first, and then just around an hour for the feature race as they come soon. So there is Van Buren on pole as we watch the lights graphic pop up with them now. They are red and they go green, and the field is off. Great start from Van Buren there. Getting quite away, and it's of course going to be all action throughout the back. Oh, almost a little bit of contact for there. 8 laps, of course, for this race. As we have, who is that? That looks like Picard in it. I can't tell who the other cars are. Look at that as they fan out 3, 4, 5 wide. Oh, contact there between Picard. Who was that also? I couldn't tell. Here as they head down into the infield. Someone else off. Is that? That looks like it's Picard. Picard, yes, that is Picard off. Ooh, is he going to get in front of him? No, he holds it, and he is now going to reverse and then spin around. So Van Buren cleanly out here in front so far on lap number 1. The side-by-side action here, back for about 5th position. Let's come through here is Janik chasing, is that Papenfuss? Looks like it, heading through the straight tube. Looks like, I think that's a Fragmaster car. Running a little wide. Ooh, someone else off there into the grass, exiting there. Whoa, bit of contact, and Yannick is off. Ooh, bit of a hard touch to the wall there, but he continues on. That might negatively affect his handling. Who is this? Looks like Salomon. Oh, yep, he is very back. Onboard look from the safety car here, parked at the exit of the oval to quickly collect the field in the event of needing deployed. Looks, as we down here, looks like a Sim Racing Society car. A little too far back to get a slipstream of the car ahead, or the car behind to get a slipstream of him. As we start the second lap of this race, 3 wide. Now, whoa, 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 whoa. That, I think, is Abbas, and who else was that? I can't tell. Yeah, Picard is involved in this. Who else? Could be Fargo, maybe? Now this is right back. 3 wide, of course. The outside way is definitely the long way around, though. And you do not want to be there. Shearer involved with this. Jovanovic and Abbas here. Looks like that would be Jovanovic. Can't tell. Quite easily. Ooh, someone is off up ahead. Who is that? There's another car off, running a little wide. Who is this? That is Fargo from Clockwork Motorsports. Having off here on board, looking from the back of Andrzej Mashka of X-Fusion Racing, car number 51. Of course, 4 cars from X-Fusion entered into the championship here for LFSCART. So heading onto the oval portion one more time. Back here, a little more action. 3 cars all slipping. That's Janik. Barrington is another one of these. Till Janik is going to try and come around. And 3 wide as they come across the line. I think Janik had the advantage of all 3. Of course, the slipstream will catch you up to go! Contact! Crash! Big crash now! Who is this? That's a sim racing car, and looks like another X-Fusion car, I think. Can't identify it easily. Yeah, it is. It is an X-Fusion car. It's Bertil Holmberg involved in this. Fairly heavy accident, but both cars continue on their way, and we'll try and pick up all the positions. Hope we might be able to see a replay. That's not sure. And a little bit wide here as they enter the infield once more. And someone's spinning off in the back. Looks like Fargo again, possibly. I do believe this could be. Yep. Car 67, looks like, from the rear wing. Back up near the front here. The Marlboro-themed car. Jack McIntyre. Very tight turn, turn number 3 is though. 5 laps to go now. 3 laps have been completed by the leader, Rudy Van Buren continues to lead. And McIntyre tries to chase down Mashka, I believe is the car right ahead. I might be very much mistaken. And side by side, these look like, yeah, these are the 2 Serbian cars. They are side by side. Someone else behind now, a little further front. This looks like Abbas and one of the Serbian chrome piston cars. Oh, no, it might not be Abbas. As they head. Whoa! Contact in the back. Someone's been pushed down on the exit apron. That is not going to be good. As they now continue onto the infield another time. On board with Mashka. Chases down the Barrington. That looks like the sim racing. Society car just ahead. No, it is McIntyre. I'm sorry. That is McIntyre just ahead. And Mashka is going to try and chase. And if you look very carefully, where you can see a little bit of speck, the car right behind, just a little too far back at this point to catch any slipstream. Looks like we're going to have a replay here. Yep. Here is how McIntyre get around Mashka. Mashka getting a little wide, exiting turn number 2 there. And that will let McIntyre around on the outside. It has a little bit of a slide, though. That lets Mashka try and fight for the position again. But, of course, fairly safe to go through their single file. And whoa! What's this? This is Abbas. In the Sonic Realms car, denting that a little bit. On board with Nathan Lamont as he comes around Serbian pistons vehicle up to top speed with now 4 laps remaining in this race. Now back up to McIntyre and Mashka. Say through the long right-hander, 180 degrees all the way through. There is your race over. Van Buren leads from McIntyre, from Mashka, from Kasunias, and Hinian, Pappenfos, Sedgwick, and Janik. Your top 8 so far, about halfway through this 8-lap sprint race. Each race, of course, still to come. Back in the back, this is Laprovote and Barrington. About 4/10 of a second, but there's the gap is not 4/10 of a second now. Right on the gearbox of Laprovote is Barrington. Now losing a little there through these last set of turns. Trick is to get close enough to coming out where you can get a good tow through most of the first half of the oval section and make the pass going through the oval turn 1. On board with Barrington. He's getting a great tow out of here. He's going to come to the inside, exiting as they come across the line side by side, over the line together. Through the kink on the front stretch. Looks like Barrington gets ahead, but Laprovote will get the slipstream advantage again. Should have a chance to re-overtake going into the infield another time. Look at him come on the inside. And he tries it, but breaks earlier. And will lose the position. Barrington's great action there. Rudy Van Buren still leading up front. Clean race for him so far, the driver from the Netherlands. With just over 2 laps to go now, he'll be starting the penultimate lap, this time across the line. Back here to, this is Picard we're watching with his battle as he tries to come on the inside. Bit of a twitch from the leading car of Wang, and JJ Wang of Clockwork trying to hold off Picard with 2 to go. Little too far back for a slipstream now. Now looking at a different battle. It's again between the 2 SCP cars. Now back up to the front. As Van Buren will be seeing the white flag for the final lap this time around. Serbian battling going on back here. Losing a little time through there though. Tires getting right worn now. More of a sprint set for these. So Picard, after that spin in the beginning, well, working his way back up to 11th position. And Wang is off. Wang is off. Not sure what happened there. We'll find out what happened. But he is off and parked on the side of the road. And the final lap now for Van Buren. Getting a great start and holding onto the lead. No challengers at all so far in this race. It looks like this battle may not materialize. And now here is Barrington. Looks like there's Picard ahead. Is he going to be able to catch Picard? He is pulling away from Laprovote. Here is Van Buren again, I believe, or is this Solomon? Looks like the number 4. And yes, it is. So Van Buren is clearly on his way to victory here, if I'm not very much mistaken. About a 1-lapped car right ahead that could muck him about. Lapped car does well to get out of the way. Looks to be Aaron Shearer's car as well to get out of the way. Van Buren onto the oval for the last time in this race, and we'll come through oval 3 fairly tight turn this is. But he'll come off the final turn, and Rudy Van Buren will take the first victory of the 2009 LFSCART season. And maximum points. Here's McIntyre for second. And then, like, that looked like Picard, I think. Couldn't see it too well. As we see the rest of the field coming to finish in fairly rapid fire. Not very much time for the field to get spread out in this race, but great win for Rudy Van Buren. No problems, pretty much dominating this entire race. So Rudy Van Buren will take, of course, maximum points. And results now: Van Buren winning by 7.3 seconds over McIntyre, then Mashka, then Kasunias, Union, Papenfuss, Sedgwick, Janig, Salminen, and Hill. Then Picard, Barrington, Laprava, Holmberg, Jovanovic, Fermavec, Fargo, Lamont, Scherer, and Perez in 20th position. One lap down. Wang actually ran out of fuel. So that would be the reason for his DNF. And Abbas retiring from the race. So everyone will get set. Return to the garage. Take a brief break and set. So now for the feature race. Of course, a rolling start for the feature race. Safety car pulls away. We're going to pull alongside, just having a little bit of fun. Of course, everyone will hold single file most of the way around until the end of the second sector. As you can see across the top of the screen will be the starting lineup. The starting lineup is the finishing order of the sprint race. No reversals or anything of that sort. Mashka and Kasunias, X-Fusion teammates, starting side by side in row number 2. And Hinian and Papenfuss. Hinian of L'équipe Saucisse de Foie, and Papenfuss of Fragmaster team. Back in row 4, Sedgwick and Janig. Janig of pole position driver. As a little bit of weaving side to side, as trying to get a little bit of heat in their tires. No R4 tires permitted, so tires will not get as cold as R4s would during these slow caution laps. Card will be starting inside row 6, and Barrington starting in 12th, about halfway through the starting grid now. We'll have again 22 cars starting here momentarily. As the field exits onto the oval, all drivers will need to get onto their pit limiters and form up side by side. Pace car is off. We will be seeing the green flag momentarily. Of course, it's a little while away still. They still have this third turn to go. McIntyre laying back a little bit. They need to catch up. Mandatory pit stop in this race. Got that long apron that you have to stay on entering and then exiting. That could lead to some problems if someone tries to go too fast. Once it out, everyone does need to try and possibly catch up a little, as we are slow. And awaiting the green flag, which comes out now. And this race is underway! Fanning out 4 wide on the start. McIntyre not anticipating that well at all. So a bad start to his 31-lap race there for McIntyre, and that completely will bottle up the field a little bit. We are side by side, 3 wide going through the first oval turn. Everyone, of course, going to spread out again on this wide track, going to try and get in cleanly here. Side by side. Ooh, contact! That's off. That was Kasunias, I think, was one of them. Off. And another car, I didn't see the other car, but a couple cars have gone flying already. Looks like everyone continues going. Someone off into the large beach out there on the outside of the first turn. See if he'll get there. Safety car is on standby. We'll see if this results in a safety car or not. I have about 45 seconds now to try and see if the situation will resolve itself or if the safety car will need to be deployed. But still, everyone continuing to battle right now. Is Picard? Oh, Picard getting a little loose, coming out through their power a little too early, trying to chase down Pappenfuss. And then McIntyre just ahead. Bit of side by side. That would be Salminen. I believe someone is off there. I saw someone off into the gravel. There's sheer. Ooh, and more contact here. A couple cars getting into it here. That looks like another one of the Serbian cars. Not sure who that was. Couldn't see a number on him. Side by side here as they head through the oval. And then we obviously stay green. Van Buren leading over Mashka. Then Hinian in third position, as you see your top 10 after the first lap. And here is a replay. This is Sedgwick. Who is that? That looked like a number. That's Firmovec. Is what happens here. So is there contact? Or is it just Firmovec losing it under brakes? He looks like he goes a little too hot, perhaps. And slides it, trying to correct it. Runs off wide into the beach. Or is this another car? Yeah, that looks like, yeah, this is Firmovec. And he does come back on. And where does the incident with Sedgwick happen? There's Sedgwick coming unsighted, or not expecting the car to be there. He was running a little wide himself. And they encounter, and then right behind that looks like Wang, 61, yep. And so that shows you what happens there. Hard to react at some points on this track. Here is McIntyre and Hinian. Battle for second here. Early on. Still a long ways to go. And a compulsory pit stop. So Van Buren still leads. This battle is actually for third position. I'm sorry. Cars worked his way up to 6th from starting 11th, so good run for him. As we head now into the third lap. Bit of side-by-side action back here. Looks like Laptermont and the next unit car. And it looks like Pappenfuss off into the infield another time. It's a fairly high downforce needed through here. Yep, Laptermont and Pappenfuss about a half second apart. Everyone's still fairly close together around the race. This is Lamont and Fargo. Now back to Pappenfuss. He tries to chase down Jan Laptermont. Laptermont, champion of the second season of the Live for Speed Beginners Cup. Held back at the end of 2008. Trying to hold. Whoa! Getting a little bit of a twitch coming back onto the oval. Not much help getting onto the oval with the bump as you get back into the banked part of the oval. Oval does have a little bit of banking. And who's this? This looks like Barrington coming into the pits. I guess he's going to try and take an early pit stop. As Pappenfuss does get around Laptermont here into turn number 1. So Van Buren leads from Mashka, who leads from McIntyre, who leads from Hinian. Here on after 4 laps. Pappenfuss taking a defensive line, entering the infield once more. Here on the 4th lap. And whoa! Lamont is upside down! Lamont is upside down, and that is a safety car. So he is upside down in the pit apron. Safety car is out. Not sure what's happened here with Nathan. We'll find out. There is the safety car on track waiting for the field to arrive behind it. So safety car will neutralize this race for a few laps. And see if anyone takes the advantage of this to make their compulsory pit stop. And we'll see if we get a replay here momentarily of how Le Mans ended up upside down. As field backs down, and Van Buren will catch him up. So drivers will be working to try and keep some heat into their tires. Already doing some side to side. Got this wide front stretch to do some safe side to side action like this. It's pretty wild on occasion. Laps under pace car about 15 to 20 seconds on average slower than what a run under green flag. So not much lost under pace car here in terms of pace as opposed to some other track, but definitely still will hurt. Hopefully it won't have any Constantiner effects causing any incidents here. And here comes a replay. Ooh, big hit there. Is this, I believe this, yeah, this might be on board with the ball. Yep, and he just loses it and hits the inside wall and goes flying. Ooh, that was a bit of contact. I think C came across. I didn't quite see. Here's another replay. This didn't show us much except just the carnage aftermath. So I can share in there. So, looks like a little bit of dodgy behavior perhaps. So you see your order on the screen. Van Buren, Mashka, McIntyre, Hinian, Janig, Jonathan Picard, Henrizo Salamin, so FRO 1st and 7th. Simon Hill there, car 54, 9th. Pappenfros, and Laprovot, Fargo, Sedgwick, Sunius, Wang, and Fermavec in 16th position. 17th is Shearer, then Jovanovic and Barrington, your currently running cars. Albus is out, Clement is out, and Perez also out here, only after 4 laps completed of 31 scheduled here in Kyoto. Sedgwick is entering the pit lane now. He'll be making a stop. A little bit of wing damage there. Nothing too severe at this moment. Tire heat, of course, critical to keep up. Tires will be colder anyway, but any little bit of heat will be an advantage. Take about half a lap or so, maybe a lap, for sufficient heat to be built back in. So drivers will have to be careful when the restart comes here in the next lap or two. So far, fairly decent behavior under this caution here. Janig and Picard. Oh, that was a car off there. Was that Timo? That looked like Timo, and I believe it is. Yes, that is a Saucisse de Foix car, and that is number 36, which is Timo Hinian, who has had a bit of an off caution. Unfortunately, that has caused him to lose his place. Someone else is off. Tires are all over the place. What in the world? I spoke too soon about good behavior on a pace car. But Rudy up here, doing well. Of course, he's got the best view of it all. He just needs to keep a decent distance to the pace car and hope no one rams him up the back. So yeah, so this will definitely hold up any safety car in lap. But Rudy and McIntyre and others up in the top 3 or 4, fairly clean so far. Slowing it right down and nailing the gas again to try and keep some heat into those rear tires. Try and prevent wheel spin. And into the pits come about 5 cars. And of course, these are all the cars that seem to have a bit of incident. Under caution, looks like both the Saucisse de Foix cars. So Van Buren and Mashka, McIntyre hold in their formation. A little bit of something going on back in the back. I can see it's a couple cars side by side. Hopefully admins will get that sorted out. Safety car getting a bit of workout here. This is our working, I believe, our third lap under pace car conditions now. Of course, the safety car will be being instructed by race control to either speed up or slow down, depending on what the need is to let the field catch up or keep heat in the tires. FXR, the safety car here today. Fairly easy, stable Ricardo drive. Has decent enough pace to keep these FO8s going fast enough. Is that another car going off in the background? I couldn't tell, let's hope not. And as the safety car continues on with the old section, we're obviously on lap or so more, and Rudy will be coming into the pits now, so he'll be pitting in from the lead. Of course, doing so now, and also JJ Wang from Taiwan. So that'll promote Mashka to the lead. Replay of the start. The green flag goes out. What was that? Got a little bit of wheel spin, so that was Pappenfuss. Someone fans out at the start. Back not getting such a good start. Here is the scenes at turn 1. Let's see. Bit of chaos in there. Who are we on board with? I believe this is Pappenfuss that we're on board with. And whoa! Oh yeah, a little bit of lag involved with that. Just a little bit. But now, back to live action. Still behind the pace car. We hope to be able to resume the next lap or so. So Mashka leads from McIntyre, who leads from Janik. Then Salaminen, your top 4. And then pretty much the rest of the field following. Only a few retirements so far. So Execution Car currently leading this race. Under caution conditions, so we'll be... Of course, they haven't made pit stops yet. Would have been, perhaps they can't make it the entire way, but if they could make it the rest of the way without pitting, if they would have pit now, it would have made it a straight fight to the finish. But as it looks, we may have to have some green flag pit stops later, assuming there are no safety cars out later in the race. And it looks like we may be going in this lap, as the leader is holding the field a little slower and the safety car is working to pull away. Let's see what we see of the pace car, what he does. And he... No, pace car is still up there ahead. So we will have another lap. Waiting for a few cars to catch up. So another lap. It's not at all interesting for the drivers or spectators, but we do admins do try to wait for this most of the field to be caught back up after pit stops. Of course, tires getting a little colder, so tire warming more and more critical. And you see Mashka and McIntyre weaving side to side to try and scrub a little tiny bits of heat into their tires before the start. Or I should say restart. You see lights still on the FXR. Someone's off in the gravel. Couldn't tell, that almost looked like it had the same colors as an X-Fusion car. Not quite sure though. Hopefully we'll be able to get an ID. McIntyre did a little bit of drifting around that third turn there. Looks like if everyone is in formation, we may be going in at the end of this lap. Working the 9th lap, safety car running a little wide. Trying to keep fast pace for all of the cars following behind. Lights are out on the pace car, I believe. On board with Janik, who's behind McIntyre. McIntyre, who's behind Meshka. Safety car is off the course now, and we get ready to go. Anytime now. Field may begin to nail it. And we are back on it. They're on their way back through the gears. And awaiting the green flag, which will come out any moment now. And the green flag is out, and this race is back underway. 9 laps complete. So Mashka leads away from McIntyre. Both McIntyre doing fairly well to stay with Mashka on the restart. Of course, getting a great restart is highly key. Look at these two getting way out ahead of the rest of the field. But at the back, fairly well spread out as battle between... Whoa! And Pappas has spun it! That is a side effect of cold tires on a restart. See if anyone else is spun it. Someone else is spun there and hard into the wall. Can't tell who that is quite yet. And as we see, this is McIntyre. Is that beer? Or is that Salmon? I couldn't tell. We'll have to. That looks like it's Salmon. Yes, it is Salmon. He is up ahead of McIntyre now. Not sure what happened to Mashka. Salmon obviously getting a good run through the early section. Of course, who says off that shear off for Storm Racing? That will not do. That'll get a little heat this tire, but hopefully not too much. A little more scrapping back here. Oh, Salmon getting a bit of a twitch through the second last turn. Oh, he has tapped the wall. That's going to let McIntyre get a slipstream on him. He'll come to the inside into the final turn, and he will have it. But will Salmon tuck right back in to try and get a slipstream? Best to wait just a little bit so he can get a little longer of a pull, which he does, and Salmon comes right back around. But McIntyre will have the slipstream again. Into turn 1, he's going to try and stay outside a little bit, try and not hit him, try and not hit Salmon. He'll tuck right back in, try and cut across the inside, thinks better of it, tucks back in, waits for another move. Now here we have X-Fusion cars, and then is that Sedgwick, I believe, right behind here. So a three-way battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th. Sedgwick tries and barges his way in the inside. It's their contact a little bit, which was one of the X-Fusion cars off. Was that Holmberg, I think? Losing a bit of time as we are on board with Sedgwick. A little bit of right front wing damage we see right there, crinkled in. Watching now on board with Van Buren, and that is Sedgwick as he gets around. So Van Buren working his way through quite quickly on this restart. Picking off car after car. Replay now. This is watching Van Buren get around Sedgwick. A little bit of slide on. And whoa, so close to tires touching. Which could always end in tears for someone. Or someone's. But Van Buren continuing to try and charge his way back up to the front. Working the 12th lap of 31. Nearing the halfway point of this race. Sedgwick's going to gets a little bit of a twitch there. He's going to try and come around Van Buren. Is Sedgwick going to try and dive? Not enough, though. So Van Buren holding the position. Now he has an X-Fusion machine ahead. Someone off a little bit there. And Van Buren going to try up the inside of the X-Fusion car. Just nothing left. Oh! Loses also to Sedgwick. A little bit of panic, perhaps, from Van Buren just showing himself right like that. Kind of go-kart style there, that just shoving your nose right in there late. That's about the way you have to do it if for karting. And back in the back. Looks like one of the Serbian cars couldn't identify it right then, but several cars ahead. Sedgwick try and work his way forward here. 12 laps down. Whoa, so close. I don't think there's much of a side draft or anything of that sort here, guys. Right down to the inside now. Ooh, little bit of perhaps excessive blocking there. Sedgwick bound and determined to get run this execution machine ahead. But if he's not careful, whoa! That might be a little bit of there's a little more karting style maneuvering going there. That might be Firmavec, I think. Cedric does hold off, and I think this is Barrington right behind here, ready to pick up any scraps that's left. And there we go, says Barrington. The Serbian front pistons car going wide and losing position to Barrington there. So Sim Racing Society's Barrington, James Barrington collecting a position there. Thank you very much, he says. Here is a replay on board with Barrington as we watch. That is Firmavec. I think I saw an 81 there. Look at, he just runs a little too wide. Barrington just sneaks right through on the inside. Oh, here is Rudy chasing down Kasunius. He is starting to get a little bit of slipstream. See if he can brake a little better. He brakes a little early. And Kasunius sliding a little lets Rudy right on the back wing. Kasunius driving very hard to try and keep the position here. And Rudy getting a little sideways on entry. Ooh, almost a bit of contact there. Just powering his way through this field after that pit stop. So dominating show here. Looking from Gasunas, taking a look back, and Van Buren comes right on the inside. And Gasunas putting a couple wheels off the grass, but keeps it straight. And Van Buren is through. Another position collected there. Whoa! We got a problem back here. Is that Firmavec, I think? Can't see who are the other cars here. No, there's Shear. Aaron Shearer here, and we also have back here. There you see the top 10 on the sidebar there. Van Buren worked his way back up to 4th. This Johnny, I believe, perhaps coming through. On board with, no, this is Clockwork Motorsport, JJ Wang, coming around the outside on the oval. Of course, in top gear, put off to the inside, so it should be pretty much that he will have to wait into the slipstream once more, or try and outbrake into the first turn here. Cannot make that stick. Whoa, and the Serbian car runs wide. Ben Wang slips right through quite easily there. Taking advantage of mistakes is a critical part here in racing. So, battle here between laps per vote, Barrington, Cedric, and Jonik for 7th through 10th spot here. Lap per vote ahead of Barrington, who is ahead of Cedric, and then there is Yannick there. Lap per vote ahead, and Cedric trying to get around Barrington. Ooh, Cedric trying to force him a little lower, and Yannick coming in, got a great toe of both of these cars. He's going to try and slide through. That shoves Barrington up a little higher than he wants to go. Barrington will have a good toe coming through here. So Mashka leads. This is the battle of 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. 3 wide they go! Heading, whoa! Cedric almost touching the back of Janik. And Now Sedgwick's going to try looking back from Laprote. Laprote has got to be loving to see this. Side by side between Sedgwick and Janik, and he punts him off into the grass just a little bit. Laprote might not be, or Janik, I'm sorry, might not be so happy about that. So Janik ending up right back where he started this. So Janik all over the gearbox of Barrington. Janik, just a little wide. Manages to keep it going in the right direction. Whoa, Janik losing it through there, putting the power on a little too early. Remember, no traction control with these cars, so you have to modulate the power yourself. No computer's helping you. Back up at the front, this is Van Buren and Salminen. Side by side, teammates. Van Buren around the outside, I think that is. Indeed. Side by side, entering or through the oval section, tucking right back in line of stern, but coming right back on the inside, sharply cutting down into the infield. And the position is Van Buren's. Janik in the pits, missing a stall, having to select one, perhaps some damage that he needed to fix. So now 3-car battle here between Laprote, Barrington, and Sedgwick. Looks like Sedgwick got around Laprote. Laprote has lost to both of these drivers. So it's now Sedgwick and Barrington. Barrington goes a little wide into the third turn. And Laprote's off! Laprote's off! And he's in the grass, keeps the power on, and gets out of the gravel trap. So Laprote losing quite a lot of time there. Barrington and Sedgwick. Then back here. And who's this into pits now? This Salminen? Looks like it. So he'll be in pits. More action going on back here. In the back. Now who's also into the pits? Here is Pappenfuss. So he'll be into pit lane now. This is... couldn't tell who that was. Mashka continues to lead. He still has his compulsory pit stop to make. About 13, 14 laps to go now. 17 laps complete of 31 scheduled. Mashka continuing his way around. We trying, hoping that he's got enough of a lead. We take a watch out. Safety car getting a nice view as everyone heads out onto the oval from the infield section. Mashka hoping to have enough of a lead built up to where he won't be able to. Who is this off? This looks like, is this Wang, I think? I do believe it might be a Clockwork car, can't tell. And more action up here. Saucisse-de-Foix car. Now back up to the front, now back in the back. This is Wang. Yes, this is JJ Wang's car. He chases. Hinian, I believe. Well, that might be Laprote. I reckon this would be Laprote back here, this far back. There you see that effect of the slipstream just pulls you right along, just grabs you and will slingshot you if you manage it right. So they all head side by side into the braking zone for the infield. Holds him off for now. Well, that could be Hinian. I think I saw 36 there. There is McIntyre and Van Buren now. Van Buren very nearly at the front. Back into the podium at least. Watching another time from the safety car. They head streaming back onto the oval another time. "19 laps complete, 12 to go now." Van Buren working his way back up to the front, so on board. Just a little too far back to get full effect of the slipstream, but just enough to be barely getting it. Get through efficiently, he will be getting it a little better. Just a whiff can help you catch the rest of it. Into the infield another time. Can be hard to pass on this infield section, because loss of downforce will make you run wide. Van Buren's going to try. He cuts across onto the inside of McIntyre. Side by side, they almost touch wheels. McIntyre's going to try and hold it, but Van Buren has it, I think. Or McIntyre's going to try and hold it again. They're side by side. McIntyre loses it now to Van Buren. So Van Buren just forcing that little bit of a mistake that lets him just clinch that position. Absolutely amazing pace from Van Buren so far here today. Taking a look a little bit back in the pack here. Trying to give you a good idea of what's going on all around the field. Someone getting a bit of a slide on in the back of the pack there. Didn't see who that was. Looks like it all continues along. Serbian chrome pistons there. That is Clockwork Car, I do believe. Looks like car 67. There's the slipstream right there. Whoa! Right almost at the inside wall. Dangerous if he hit that. Luckily he didn't. And looks like he will maintain or clinch the position. He's going to try and go side to side on the track, trying to break the slipstream. Serbian car is going to try and come around the outside, side by side braking duel. And the Clockwork Car holds it. And, whoa, the Serbian car trying to do a long braking attempt. Didn't work. Almost 10 to go now. Working the 21st lap of this 31-lap feature race. And Mashka is in the pits. So there's Mashka. And Van Buren has taken the lead back. So Rudy Van Buren back in the lead. Well played on the pit strategy. Now also looks like another X-Fusion car entering in the pits. There we see James Barrington of Sim Racing Society, Michael Passingham's team. Tim Bodette, member of that team, working on a hike of the Appalachian Trail here over in the eastern United States. Very long, challenging journey that would be. But James Barrington, and here's Aaron Shearer off. Aaron Shearer off here. That looks like to be on the run between about turn 6 to turn 7. So there we see the order: Van Buren, McIntyre, Barrington, Mashka, Sedgwick, Leprot, Fargo, and Firmovec, your top 8. Here's Solomon, or is that Van Buren? Yeah, that might have been Van Buren getting around. Shearer, obviously Shearer laps down, a couple laps down now. And what this is, that looked like might have been Wang off side by side here, but who's this? This is Janik and Jovanovic. So Janik gets around into 13th position. But will Jovanovic try and barge his way in? No, he does not. So Janik up to 13th now. Here is JJ Wang again. Looking back from Igor Sermivik. A little low on the entry to turn 3. This is Fargo and Ksunius of X-Fusion. Ksunius' nose is a little wrinkled up, and he gets around Fargo. Will Fargo be able to get a slipstream? No, he runs it a little wide. Not able to hold on with Ksunius. Back to Jovanovic and JJ. Right on the gearbox. Trying to stay right with him, hoping to force him to stay. Or Firmovic, I'm sorry. Firmovic doing well to hold JJ Wang off. Looking ahead from JJ. A little bit of damage on the right front wing end plate. On board with Timo Hinian. Tries to chase down Fargo. Outside doesn't always work on the oval. Here tries to come inside. I hear a little bit of contact there. Madhinian holding it steady. Into turn number 2. Whoa, was that Wang getting it all wrong? No, that was Firmovic getting it a little wrong. And Wang slips through on the exit of the turn. Then who into the pits now is Jack McIntyre, making his compulsory pit stop here, lap 25. There is JJ from Clockwork, running quite close to Clockwork today for him and several other drivers in this race. Here is Picard and Salmon, I believe. Salmon in for Formula Racing. Formula Racing, of course, team champions and driving champions in last year's LFSCART Series. Trying to do this repeat again this year here in 2009. And Shearer is off again. That looks like it might have been a fairly nasty shunt into the Armco. Having a bit of spin there. Not sure, maybe bad setup on the car. Roasted tires, but he will try and continue on for the rest of this race. And there's Lincoln Fargo. He's had a bit of an off, it appears, also. That's on the way into the right-left chicane, but he continues on. Car trying to catch Salmon in here. Picard there. And that is Papafus. A little wide on the exit of the turn. But he keeps it in overall the correct direction. 25 laps are complete now. 31.6 to go. Will Picard be able to get Salmon in here and pick up a few more of those also valuable points? And here is, I believe this is Hinian. Indeed it is. Five laps to go. The last handful of laps here in the first round of the 2009 LFSCART season. And there goes Timo up the inside. And makes that stick. Look again from the safety car. Serbian Chrome Pistons drivers in LFSCART this year. Glad to have them in our midst. Great racing already through today. From everyone. So Rudy back in the lead after starting there. Taking a pit stop under caution, falling back. Some action here, but it's 4 laps to go now. And here's back to Picard and Salamina. A little loose through there. He runs wide tires, obviously quite more now at this late stage of this race. I'd like to give a bit of a thanks to 500 servers for their excellent servers racing used for their events. Just one back at the beginning of 2008, and it has served us well so far, and we have the rest of our contract period works quite well. As here comes Picard trying to come around the inside on Salmon, and he has. Will it stick though? And it looks like he makes it stick for now. Continuing on, so Picard getting position with 3 laps to go now. First next round will be at West Hill International, so there should be some good racing there at that very tricky track. Mistake will pull you into the grass and slam you into the arm coat there at West Hill. This track a little more forgiving. Whoa, Picard getting a little balked by that one of the SCP cars there. But none the worse for wear. I'm going to try and get around him fairly quickly. Does so. Can use him as a bit of a pick there on Salminen. Trying to break the draft. They're going side to side across the course. Salminen's going to try and come on the inside now. He can use that to get a draft onto Picard, which he does. He should have. He should have stayed right on the inside. He'll wait a little bit to try and stage it for a little better time. Challenging Picard again is Salmonen. Of course, Picard having the inside line. And Salmonen gets the position back from Picard a lap later. Now we are on the last one lap. Now someone has got a little wrong up ahead. Can't tell who that was. Will Picard be able to reclaim the position back from Salmonen? Not yet. Still just over 5 miles to go in this race. Take a look back from Salmonen here. Picard gets a good slipstream on Salmonen here. He's going to try to go around the outside. Will he be able to make that stick? He pushes it hard in there, but he gets it a little wide. Cannot make it stick. He'll try again. He should have a good run, though, off here. If he can keep it. Salmon gets a little bit of understeer, or oversteer, excuse me, coming off into the oval. And Picard has the slipstream. So they'll be coming across the line. Here is Rudy Van Buren, though. He'll be starting the final lap this time. Another trip through the oval. So Rudy Van Buren leading. And the white flag will be out this time to signify 1 to go. Back to Picard. Picard got around Salmonen. Is he going to be able to hold him off? Into the infield for another time. Picard makes it stick for now. But will he be able to make it stick the rest of the way around? They still have a whole nother lap after this. Since they're still ahead. They're still on the lead lap. Near the end of it, though. And Salmon losing a little bit of ground, but this is what happened previously. Mistake could cost either one dearly. So here is Rudy. Let's see if he will be able to hold it. Pretty much a clean race. Rudy charging his way back up to second before the car hit the leader, Mashka, at the time, had to make his compulsory pit stop. Here is Shearer struggling in this feature race. But back to Rudy now. Into the final sequence of turns under racing conditions for the final time today. And onto the oval for the final time. Rudy Van Buren taking a sweep of round 1. Final turn now, coming across. And Rudy Van Buren, driving for Formula Racing, will take the feature race today here in round 1 of LFSCART from Kyoto. Sprint race and feature race win today for Rudy. So taking early domination here in the championship. Here is Barrington. And I believe that is Mashka behind. Yes, it is. Battle for second coming to the line. Barrington's going to try and come to the inside, of course, trying to break the draft. Mashka has got the slipstream, though. Will he be able to pull it? Will there be a drag race? What's going to happen as they come around? Short run to the finish line. Now they're going to be side by side. Who's going to get it? It is going to go to Mashka. Mashka gets it just by a nose. So Mashka getting second just by a nose over Barrington, it looked like. We'll wait for official results to confirm that. Then here between Tim and Laprovant, they almost touch. They do touch. Laprovant. That's Laprovant in the wall hard. Laprovant in the wall hard there. And his car's crabbing back to the finish. Quite dodgy there. Here is that battle for second. That looked like Mashka to me. We'll slow this down. See it, here's the finish line right here. There it is, just by a nose. Mashka over Barrington. So, results. Van Buren, Mashka, and Barrington. McIntyre, Sedgwick, Hinian, Laprovant, Wang, Salminen, and Fermavec, your top 10. 19 finishers today. Kusunius and Picard both penalized. Great racing all around. Thanks for this. We'll leave you with some interviews. But for all of us here in New Dimension Racing and LFSCART, I'm Jonathan Palmer. Enjoy the winners. We'll see you from West Hill International next time for LFSCART.
Welcome here to the post-race interview. We have got the podium positions here in the box. First of all, Rudy van Buren, what was it a race for you?
The sprint way race was a bit like getting to know all the drivers. My start was quite okay, but the execution guys got in my slipstream right away. Needed to block in the first turn. They got in a fight behind me, and I saw in lap 3 that the guy behind me went off, and I got a little gap there and could finish it. The main race, rolling start. My rolling start was good. I could keep the P1 into the first corner. Then the safety car came out after a few laps. I saw some guys pitting, and I was a bit thinking, what should I do? Is it better? Is it better? I took the choice to pit, and in the end it worked out when the guys who didn't pit needed to make that pit stop, which cost way more time than what I lost with my pit stop behind the safety car.
What was your feeling about safety car periods?
In the front it was quite okay, but that was because I had no one in front and only needed to look at safety car, but in the back it was quite messy. It's just a chain reaction what happens. The front runner brakes normally, the one behind doesn't see it in time and brakes a bit too late, and then the guy behind that gets for his feeling a brake test, and that whole the field just makes a big mess in the back. Definitely something what should be spoke about before the next race. That should just be a bit more gap between the cars, or just slow down slowly instead of just bumping onto the brake right away.
Congratulations for your win.
Thank you.
Now to Mr. Barrington. You just came in as second, referring to the LFS timing, but you were on the identical time like Mashka on P3. So what was it a feeling for you to see him approaching in the last corner?
Well, finally at the end I realised he was much quicker than I was. Also, I knew that the worst part of the track for me was the final corner. I couldn't get any speed onto the straight, so I knew the last lap, if he managed to catch up with me, would be a very close call.
How was your feeling about the races?
I haven't really had much experience with the FO8 really, recently, so I was a bit tentative about how well I could do, how high I could qualify. I wasn't really too concerned with the pace. I thought I'd just drive my own race, see where I came out. I think I had a small accident in the sprint race at the first corner, got a little bit of damage. Oh, and then there was a large accident on the oval section that didn't help. I can't remember where I finished, and basically just plodded along. It was a short race, so not much to lose or gain there. The feature race, again, bit of a turn one accident. I ended up behind a lot of cars that I was faster than, and I realised it was costing me time. I pitted after about 4 or 5 laps, and as soon as I was in the pit lane, the safety car came out, which really helped my race, obviously. Could bump up the field. From then on it was just a case of trying to keep ahead of some guys that were faster than me, such as Mashka. Like Rudy alluded to, there was quite a fracas under the safety car. I was actually involved in that. The car in front of me basically stopped still, at which point I had to stop still as well, otherwise I'd have hit him. Touched him slightly, and then the guy behind me also hit me, so that's, like Rudy said, a chain reaction.
Congratulations for your second position.
Thank you very much.
Mashka, what was your feeling about the last corner?
Yeah, that was breathtaking. I knew that I'm much faster than James in the last